Assalamu alaikum. This is Faiz Mahmood with another lecture of English for BS students, semester 1. Today we will learn linking words. Linking words are those words which link two sentences. Now, the linking words in spite of and although. Whenever we use these words in spite of and although, the idea presented in the previous part of the sentence. We want to contradict that idea or we want to present a contrast to that idea which we have expressed earlier. So we use in spite of and although. He failed. This is an expression. Now, if we are going to contradict this idea or present something different from this, we want to give the reason of what we have said. We use in spite of or although. He failed in spite of his best effort. In spite of. In spite of all he did, he was not able to pass the examination or pass some test. He failed. So this is the contrasting views. We want to contrast. He failed although he put in his best efforts. Although contrast of this. When we want to contrast two things, we use in spite of and although. We can join two sentences with but. The cafe was crowded, but we found a table. Although it was crowded, we found or we were able to find a table. We, we can also use this although instead of but. Although the cafe was crowded, we found a table. We found the table, although the cafe was crowded. Although will come with that part of the sentence where we are giving an explanation or where we are giving a reason of something which happened earlier in previous part of the sentence. So these are two words, three words which may use to present an idea of contrast. Now, there are two words more, though and even though. Though is an informal. In informal language, we may use though. It means the same as although. Both have the same meaning, but though is used in informal conversation, in conversational language. I like this, though, although I like this sweater, I decided not to buy it. I like the sweater, I decided not to buy it, though. You may place it at the start of the sentence or you may place it at the end of the sentence. Even though is stronger, even though is stronger, emphatic than although. It is more when you impress upon something, when you stress upon the reason of doing something or happening something, you will use even though, not though or although. He looked quite fresh, even though he's been playing squash. This is the reason. He has been playing the squash. He may have been tired, but instead of looking tired, he was looking fresh. This is more stronger and emphatic. You want to stress on his freshness. In spite of and despite, in spite of his use before a noun, mark this in on your notebook. Keep this thing in your mind. The word in spite of and despite has had the same meaning, but their usage is different. In spite of is used before a noun or before ing form of the verb. Mark wanted to report on the war in spite of the danger. Danger is a noun. We use it before a noun. Mark went on working in spite of feeling unwell with a verb with ing. Two places where you can use in spite of before a noun or before a verb with ing. Ing form of the verb, as you have seen in the examples. Despite is used in the same way and in exactly the same meaning. He wanted to go despite the danger, noun. He went on working despite feeling unwell, despite feeling. So we came to the conclusion that in spite of and despite are used before a noun or where an ing verb has been used. These are two words are used to give explanation of something doing, why someone is doing that. He wanted to report on the war. He wanted to do it irrespective of the conditions he will face it, irrespective of the danger he will feel in that process, in that case, in that situation, in that scenario, in the sentence. We use these two kinds of words, despite and in spite of. We can use in spite of the fact that. This whole phrase we can use that in the same way as although. This there is a one word, but this is the whole phrase which we can use as a substitute of although. I'm no better in spite of the fact that I have taken the pills. I'm no better although I have taken the pill. See this whole phrase and this single word. You may replace this single word with this phrase, or you may use this phrase instead of this although. To, in order to, so that, and for. The linking words, we use this word to express purpose. Purpose. When you want to express the purpose of doing something, you may use to, in order to, so that, and for. That why we do things. They tell us about why. They answer, these words answer why you are using something, why you express the purpose. He was hurrying to catch the bus. Why he was hurrying? Because he has to catch the bus. So you use to. This is for explaining the purpose. Can we stop in order to buy a newspaper? Can we stop a situation? Why we should stop? We should stop to buy a newspaper. We will have to stop for petrol. Why we have to stop? For petrol. Because there is no petrol, or petrol is near its end point. So we need petrol and we have to stop. All of these linking words are telling us the purpose of doing something. If we want to tell the purpose, we use these linking words. In order to, so as to, are more formal. They also tell the purpose. In order to also tells the purpose, and so as to also tells the purpose, and they can be used in place of to. But these are more formal. In formal language, and written or spoken, then we are formally writing or formally speaking, place to with these two words. The staff are working at weekends. So as to, so as to, this is the reason. Complete the project in time. This is the reason why they have to work. We can use the negative in order not to and so as not to. The staff are working at weekend so as not to delay. Purpose. Why they are working at weekends. They don't want to delay the project. They want to complete the project. We cannot use not to on its own. We cannot use. She was hurrying to catch the bus. She was hurrying not to miss the bus. We cannot use not to independently. She was hurrying in order not to miss the bus. She was hurrying so as not to miss the bus. This would be the construction of the sentence. Be very careful while using these words to construct some sentence where you are giving some explanation, where you are giving some reason of doing something. Be very careful of using these words. To and for. We can use for with a noun. For with a noun to say why we do something. The whole family have gone out for a dinner. Why they have gone out? To have a dinner. Why don't you come over for a coffee? For a coffee. Why don't you come? For what? For having a cup of coffee. To talk about the purpose of something, we will either use to plus infinitive. To plus infinitive mean first form of the verb, or for plus an ing verb. Mark the difference with when you are going to explain the purpose of something. If you are using to, you will use first form of the verb. If you are going to use for, you will use ing form of the verb. The heater is to keep the plants warm in winter. To keep. This is infinitive. First form of the verb. The heater is for keeping. With for, use ing form of the verb. So with to, we use first form. With for, we use ing form of the verb. Linking words so that we use subject and object. I'll post a letter today so that it gets it, subject and verb. With after so that, it is mandatory to use subject and verb. I will post a letter today so that there on his birthday it will become confusing. We will use can, or we use will or can for a present purpose, would or could for past purpose. In present, we use will and can. In past, we use would or could. I will give you a map so that you can find or will find the way. I gave him past. This is give is present. So that he would be able. If you use you could find the way. But if you use would, the structure would be able to find the way. You could find the way, and if you are going to prefer would on could, then the structure would be able to find the way. Be very careful about the use and structure after that particular word. After so that, you have to use subject and verb. Without subject and verb, the structure would be incomplete and confusing. We use the present simple for future after these linking words of time. We use present simple instead of for future actions. For future action, we use present simple after these linking words of time. What are these linking words? After, as soon as, before, by the time, until, when, while. I'm starting a job in sales after I finish college. I will finish college. No, not I will finish college. I finish college. We prefer present simple instead of future indefinite. As soon as you hear any news, will you let me know as soon as you hear? As soon as you hear. First form, present indefinite. As soon as you will hear. No, I must get to the bank before it closes. Before it closes. Before closes. Present simple. Not before it will close. They will have stopped serving meals by the time we get to the restaurant. Get, not will get. for near future action. After these linking words like after, as soon as, before, we use present simple or present indefinite tense after all of these linking words, which I have explained on this presentation. Time words. My leg hurts when I walk. When I walk. At the time when I walk. I heard the news while or as I was driving. During the drive time. During the time. We are going to tidy up after everyone's gone, later than, after their departure. As soon as she left, it started to rain. As soon as, immediately after. These are the time words, linking words of time. You have to wait until the light changes to green. Up to the time, you have to wait up to that particular time when it changes to green. He hasn't been able to work since he broke his leg, from the time his leg was broken. These were the meanings of these: when, while, as, after, as soon as, until, and since. These were the meanings of these were time linking words, words which are linked with time. Now, linking across the sentences, when we link the sentences, for example, to, as well, also, in addition, besides, furthermore, moreover, still, however, nevertheless, all the same, on the other hand, therefore, consequently, as a result. We use these words for rephrasing what we have said in our previous sentence or previous clause. He is not popular here. Is not popular. In other words, no one likes him. We have rephrased the sentence to explain what we have said in the previous sentence. We use these sentence linking words for correcting ourselves. We play basketball. So this word has been mistakenly used by someone. I mean, or rather, volleyball. It's not basketball. It's volleyball, which I was saying, contradicting the previous claim. She is not lazy. Now you want to contradict it. On the contrary, she works very hard. You are contradicting the meaning presented in the first sentence, changing the subject. When you want to change the subject, you use one of the words given above. It's a lovely day, isn't it? Yes, beautiful. Now you want to change the subject. By the way, where are you going? You have completely changed the subject. When you want to completely change the subject, you use one of these construction or linking word in your conversation. So these words are also used to change the subject, to rephrase, to correct yourself, or to contradict what you have said earlier in your previous statement. Sporting the statement, when you want to sport some statement of you, we need to drive to the club. Do we? After all, it's only about 200 meters from here. We need not to drive to the club. We need dismissing something. When you want to reject something, it's quite easy to walk 1 mile a day. Anyway, I'm not doing this, although it is necessary to walk, but I'm not doing it. Dismissing. You are dismissing the idea of walk. Giving an example, I think he is rude. He shouts at waiter. So he's rude. Here's an example. He shouts at waiters, for example, or for instance, at the end of the sentence, you use one of the linking sentence. For more on preposition, please refer to my lecture on preposition, the playlist, parts of speech. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.